Walker, welcome to the Sharks. And full transparency, as we're recording this, you played your first game as a Shark last night, got a goal in that. Does any of this feel real to you yet?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's kind of been busy last 48 hours, a bit of a whirlwind. And I mean, well, some things haven't sunken in yet, just kind of getting my feet wet and meeting everybody in the organization and stuff, and then playing my first game last night. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind for sure.
You are the first ever NHL player to be born in the state of South Dakota. How does that happen? I never would have thought like you'd be the first. How do you see that as happening? There's just not that many people from South Dakota.
Yeah,
there's enough hockey going on there,
yeah,
right?
I think it'll catch up here soon.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be the only one. Hopefully in a few years to come. But yeah, for me, when I was growing up, there wasn't a ton of high-level hockey. I kind of had to follow in the footsteps of my brother and my cousin who moved away to find a higher level hockey. So then I kind of followed in their footsteps as well. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to think, but yeah, only one.
You fall into a category of players that, I'll be honest, I hate to see it for you when it happened, but I love the fact that you're here now, undrafted, right, into the NHL. I just think there's always something amazing about somebody who on that draft day or those draft days didn't get called, and here you are. How do you see that, all these years later, maybe not getting chosen and now being here?
Yeah, I had opportunities to get drafted. It never worked out, and yeah, I mean, I kind of just went in, kind of gives you a chip on your shoulder, and the draft's not end all be all, right? You see. When I went into college, I knew there was plenty of guys in the league that are undrafted, and there's guys on my team in Mankato that were who had signed NHL contracts leaving Mankato as undrafted guys too. So, I knew if I worked hard, I'd maybe give myself a chance, and yeah, it's something I'm pretty proud of.
Does that day or those days, do they still sit with you? Do you remember those feelings of bummed out, I imagine?
Yeah, a little bummed out, but I never was like told like you're for sure going to be drafted. So kind of went in there with like mild expectations and have too high of hopes. But it's not like I went to the draft or was sitting there or anything. It was kind of waiting at home, and if I got my name called, I did. Yeah. But never did. But here I am today.
Bring me back through the last couple of days. Like when you found out you were coming here, how fast you had to. I don't know where you were at.
Yeah, I was in Calgary. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Calgary. So you got to get to California ASAP. Equipment, family stuff. You're living at a hotel, I imagine, right now?
Yep.
How fast did all that happen, and what was it like? A lot of phone calls, I imagine?
Yeah. So I found out I was acquired here at noon that day. Got in contact with some people from the Sharks organization. They asked if I could get on a flight that night, and I said, yeah, I should be able to. And was luckily I had my wife there to help throw some things into a suitcase.
Jeez.
And grabbed my gear and got on a flight at 7 p.m. and rolled in that night. And then, yeah, so like I said, whirlwind's probably the best way to describe it.
That's a lot to take on. It's not a new job necessarily. You're still a hockey player, but new team, new teammates, new city, new everything. That's not new to you, right? You've changed teams before, but from the human side, isn't that a little bit intimidating?
Yeah, it's for sure at times overwhelming.
Yeah.
And, you can be kind of anxious at times just with all the new things, like you said, new teammates, new coaches, new systems and whatnot. But yeah, it's also something that you kind of just got to go in with an open mind. And I'm really excited to be here. And coming here, I had people reach out saying nothing but great things about the organization. So I was really excited just to get here.
You also might have more change in the future, becoming a dad for the first time. How's that? How does that fit into everything else that's going on right now? I mean, that is a huge, important thing for your life. You must have a lot of time to think about that too, right?
Yeah. You have it kind of slips my mind a little bit sometimes, but
then it hits hard.
Then it's coming up. Yeah. So it's starting to get a little bit more real, and in a couple months it's going to be really real.
Very real
when he's here. So yeah, we're excited for that time, and that'll be a whole nother set of new things.
I've been there before too, and I remember a lot of people offering up advice in the weeks and months leading up to becoming a dad for the first time. Is there any advice that you already like, or you've already kind of used or felt?
No, just kind of enjoy. I've heard a lot of people say it goes by fast, especially newborn phase, and then the next thing you know, you're kind of chasing them around. So just it's the first one, so we're gonna try to learn as I go and enjoy it as best I can.
You know, speaking of parents, and I was doing research on you to have this conversation. When you were with Calgary, I guess there was a game in St. Louis, and I don't know if it was one of your first NHL games, but early on. But your parents drove 9 hours in the car from South Dakota, right? To St. Louis. That's pretty special. Like, you'd like to think every parent would do that for their kids, but you must have enjoyed that.
Yeah, so I had played my debut the year prior in my first season pro. They weren't able to make that because it was in Ottawa and it's kind of COVID was still around. But so the ones they heard that I was going to be in that next day, there was kind of they didn't need to ask me any questions. I think anywhere it could have been that year they would have made it. So that's nothing new to them. They've kind of carted me around my whole career from being when I was young and stuff, making much longer drives than that. So pretty grateful for those guys.
You obviously, as of like a week ago, had no clue you'd be on the Sharks. What were your outside impressions of this team before you obviously got here?
Yeah, we played them, I think it was the first game after the Christmas break.
Right.
And we had a really tight game with them and was really impressed. A lot of they got a good mix of some older veterans and a lot of young talent who are pretty amazing what they've already done in the league. So I'm really excited to be on this team and kind of the opportunities.
Just looking back at your highlights and game tape and reels, you kind of get an idea of who you are as a player. What are the things you're going to try and do here with your game, impart your game on this team? What are the characteristics you want to bring?
Yeah, I think I just want to bring a sense of speed and physicality to the forward group and kind of bring that each night, making it hard on other teams' defensemen and just establishing a pretty hard forecheck and being good in my own zone as well.
What do you think about your head coach so far?
Yeah, he's been great. I've had a couple of conversations with him only so far, but he's been great with his messaging of what he expects from me and the way he runs meetings and kind of handles guys in practice and whatnot. It's been impressive so far.
Everybody realizes where the Sharks are as a team, and it's not going to be a playoffs season, but there is a lot of upside here. Do you feel that? And maybe what are the things you see from the player perspective as an upside of being on this team?
Yeah, where they're at in the standings, like you said, most likely I'm not going to make playoffs, but I really feel like they're not that far off. I feel like the standings is a bit mistelling, just being here the few days I've been here. So seems like they have a lot of really good pieces and doing the right things. So like I said, I'm excited.
All right, Walker, appreciate this. Welcome to the Sharks, and hoping to see you for quite a while.
Appreciate it. Thank you.